workers are people too. Publix, shame on you. Farm workers are people too.
Sure, we're out here asking Publix to sign on to a fair food agreement that 9 other corporations have signed on to, including Taco Bell and McDonald, which is on its other side. They've signed on to a fair food agreement that would better the conditions of farm workers and pay them a better wage. Publix is refusing to do it.
Well, because in the sort of reconfiguration of American society into a neo-feudalistic state, the corporate forces that control our economy and control our politics look at especially undocumented workers in Immokalee as sort of the perfect worker, stripped of all their rights, stripped of any kinds of benefits. In many ways, these people are even outside the wage system. Ricardo's iron law of wages doesn't even apply to them because on the days when there is no work, they have no work. They go to the Guadalupe Center, if they're lucky, to get 1 meal a day. If they spend too long without work, they're sleeping outside in the woods. It's superfluous, surplus pool of labor that is reduced to essentially a level that is, one could describe as many ways not even subsistence level. And if we don't check the corporate forces that are rapidly disempowering the working and increasingly the middle class, we're all going to end up like this.
I don't share that.
Okay.
The last guy who did this job had his house graffitied, so I don't give out my name and number.
All right. Yeah, we got scores of congregants from throughout Sarasota joining dozens of tomato pickers from Immokalee, and we are clamoring for justice. We're calling on Publix to be part of the solution to the poverty and the abuses that pervade the tomato industry. I mean, now we're got the kind of this new dawn now that 90% of the farms in the state have signed on to this code of conduct and have agreed to pass through funds pledged by retailers. And so all we're asking is that Publix do the same as their neighbors, McDonald's, as well as Taco Bell on either side of them are already doing, which is paying a small premium so it helps to elevate tomato pickers' wages, but also to take a stand against abuses and only buy from farms that comply with this new fair food code of conduct. So far, Publix has refused, and so we're out here, and our numbers are only going to swell until Publix stops disappointing its customers and actually takes a stand for what's right. Takes a stand for the human rights of the people that make possible the tomatoes sold in their produce aisle.
Where do you see this movement sitting with the larger context of what's going on across the country right now with Occupy Wall Street?
Well, I think there are many similarities between this movement and the Occupy Wall Street in the sense that they're not trying to found a political party. They're building their movement around a call for justice. The difference is that I think the Occupy Wall Street has taken on the corporate state in its totality. Here, there's a kind of more of an incremental assault against corporatism and corporate forces, where they are slowly ratcheting up the pressure. It begins with Taco Bell, it goes on to McDonald's, and here, of course, now we're in front of the Publix. There's a kind of steady escalation upwards of putting pressure on these institutions and corporations to treat its workers fairly, whereas the Occupy movement is essentially saying we have to dismantle the whole corporate state, but in a sense that they're both movements. They're not endorsing candidates. They are remaining fast around those moral imperatives to give the disempowered and the working men and women of this country a voice.
Publix, shame on you. Farm workers are people too. Publix, shame on you. Farm workers are people too.